I got a big old fucking breakfast. I went for a little
Oh,
walk.
brunch.
Yeah, it was nice. I bought some manga.
What? Are you okay? Like, it was cute at first, but now you're buying manga every week, and I am a bit worried.
Oh, also, I played cricket yesterday, and every single fiber in my body is on
Oh,
fire
that's
right
true.
now.
Yeah.
Usually I cough, and it feels like someone's set off a grenade in my chest. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Hey, Timmer.
That sucks, man.
Tim is straight in. He's going to drop his facts and then bail.
He's quite
Peace.
the regular these days.
Yeah, he loves it. But we love having him here.
We do. It's nice having two Tims. One is better than
Is
the
your
other.
name actually Tim or Timmer or what's your full name? Tell me.
I don't think he's going to disclose his
Not your full name. No, not
and
your
your
full
address and your bank.
Just tell me your first name. I can't find you off your first name. Don't worry.
I think he's from Europe. I can't remember where. It is Timmer. There you go.
Well, okay. Well, there you go. Well, technically, we don't have the same name then, do we? Because my name's Timothy.
Yeah, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. So you're not going to believe this either, Tim. So in
which Tim?
In the absence, in your absence, I was playing a bit of Overwatch the other day, and you know how we were playing, I couldn't catch a win whatsoever. I played some solo last night because I thought maybe like there is some weird skewing going on because we've been playing with our friend who's like at the top of diamond.
Yeah.
On tank anyway. I still couldn't catch a win, and now I'm like having a bit of a crisis. I'm like, do I suck now?
We're
old
we're worse
dad
than we were. Like we're worse than we were in Overwatch 1. We used to consistently hit diamond in the first Overwatch, like easy, like every season. I do think we are a little bit worse. I do think there's an element of that. I also think that Overwatch 2 is opened up to a lot of new players, and you do just get people that are just less experienced on your team. Like plat players that really are just still playing Call of Duty and they just click on heads to win sort of thing. Like there's no team play there, you know.
Yeah, it's really given me a crisis, and I don't know if I'm ready to have that discussion with myself yet. But I'm like getting worse at games at a ripe age of 28. You know,
I don't feel like it's getting too much worse.
I'm in gold. I got demoted. I got 5 wins and 14 losses, and went demoted into gold 1.
14 losses.
I got angry. I haven't gotten like angry
dude.
in a while, and I just couldn't. Nothing ever went right, and like I kept saying like something was going wrong, and then after all of that, I just put my controller down. And I was like, "Am I the problem?"
I didn't look in the mirror.
Yeah,
splash your face with some water in the bathroom.
That was.
Is it me?
Yeah, I don't know. That was for damage though, and I don't know. I don't feel like you rank up easily damage. I don't know. I feel like the system's really harsh to damage because I'm like on the cusp of diamond for tank. I don't know.
I'm on the cusp of diamond for support.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds pretty rough, man. Yeah, I was really tempted to join you yesterday, but I shit you not, I drove 200 plus miles yesterday, and I was up since like 8 in the morning.
Yeah, don't worry about it, man.
And yeah, full game of cricket, because obviously I had to drive from here to my parents to pick up my gear, and then my game was in Brighton from my parents, so that was like another like 40 miles to get into Brighton, and then Brighton back to my parents, and then back here. Yeah, legit, I drove like 200 plus miles yesterday. So I did want to, but I just got on the sofa and just liquidated and watched an episode of Mando and fell asleep. So.
Liquidated.
I'm sorry. But I should be around today. I was going to say, depending if you're on after this podcast or whatever, because I know we want to play some OV. I'm quite close to completing Resi 4, so I can blitz that today if you're not around much, and then play Overwatch U tomorrow, or vice versa, just switch it around. But let me know.
Cool.
Anyway,
will do.
We should probably start the podcast.
No, everybody loves hearing about our fucking gaming plans. Hear us trying to schedule our lives are in gaming. It's cool, man.
It's the good stuff.
Hang on, I'm just trying to get the link for the tweet to go live, and I'm really
You're struggling.
just really struggling. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I guess I'll start with the.
Do
okay.
it.
No, you can
Do it.
No, you
No, go ahead. Go on, do it.
Intro the show.
Go on.
Okay, all
I
right.
want to hear it.
Welcome back to the QRP episode 97. Is that right? Yeah, 97.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's right, yeah.
I'm Tim, and that handsome man over there is Deck.
Hi, Ron.
And yeah, so we're here to talk about video games and news and all sorts of stuff.
I'm not. It's been so dreadful that I'm considering we just talk about, like, I don't know, paninis, sandwiches, like baguettes maybe as well.
Just sandwiches.
I guess so. Yeah, just sandwiches.
Right. Just different types of sandwiches that everyone wants to talk about.
Kind of. I mean, do you not feel that sandwiches are like one of the most interesting foods? Because, well, firstly, it's literally someone was just like, let's just get 2 pieces of bread and put something between it. And that's now, like, if I took 2 potatoes and I just whacked something in the middle, I don't think I would have the gall to be like, this is a new food. Everyone will be like, no, that's 2 potatoes with a mushroom in the middle.
I feel like that's just how all foods have been invented. I don't know what you're talking about. If you made that,
I mean, cooking's different.
Dish, nice. If you cut a potato in half and you cooked it, you got it to a fluffy point. You fluffed it with a fork. You put a mushroom between it. You melted some cheese.
No, I'm not cooking it.
And then
bam.
Oh, no. Raw potato. Well, yeah,
yeah, raw potato.
No, it's not edible. So
well, because obviously, I don't think that all dishes are fake. Like, I don't think like a stew, like a casserole, is fake because you cook it. You have like seasoning, but a sandwich is just.
I season a sandwich. You add condiments.
I mean, I suppose, but you don't cook it, I assume.
You can cook some.
Yeah, maybe we're onto something. Yeah.
Anyway, I've been playing Resident Evil 4 this week, pretty much exclusively. And I am on chapter 13. So I believe I'm a few chapters from the end. So, and I am thoroughly enjoying this game. I'd easily give this game a 9 right now, unless it takes a dip in the last act. It's an easy 9 for me. Yeah, it's so good. It's just really, really, just everything about it's just great. There's so much like attention to detail and like the little things. They've improved on pretty much every aspect of the game, as like the reviewers have said, like the characters, the dialogue, the relationship building between Leon and Ashley's a bit better as well. And yeah, the combat just feels so much better than the previous one. Yeah, just super good. Puzzles are great as well. And yeah, just having a great time with it. Potentially second playthrough material, depending on how hard Redfall hits. If Redfall is not a slap and we don't find ourselves hooked on that come Tuesday a little bit, Resident Evil might get a second playthrough. But yeah, obviously I'm trying to wrap this up before Redfall comes out. So yeah, and that's pretty much all I've been playing. That and I don't know, like Marvel Snap when I'm on the toilet. That's about it.
That's a fair shout, yeah. I think it's so impressive that you're about to finish your 3rd game in a month or something.
4th. Oh, in a month. Oh yeah, 3rd game in a month. Yeah, because I did Resi 2 Act 3 this month. Yeah.
Go you.
I know, right? I'm loving it. I'm a completionist now.
That would be such the arc. I'm still playing Ghostwire Tokyo.
Oh yeah. How many hours you in on that bad boy now?
Must be like 7 or 8.
Okay.
Something like that. I think it's good. I'm enjoying it. I think it's really disappointing technically.
Well, like
I was
graphically and frame rates and all that kind of stuff. What do you mean?
No, it's pretty. Yeah, frames. Essentially. And there is this disgusting input lag on the game. Don't know why. Yeah,
Really?
it feels like I'm playing on ice. Yeah. Yeah. I haven't played a game this bad with input lag for a while.
I don't remember anything getting mentioned about that though.
Yeah, it is. It's awful.
Damn. Okay.
And I feel, and the thing is, so I was playing it in quality mode, right? Because I was like, do you know what? I'm going to torture myself and get, desensitize myself for Redfall. And I was like, this is fine. I mean, it's not perfect. I got used to it, and I was like, that's okay. It looks nicer, that's for sure. Particle effects and everything, sharper, all that stuff. But man, it just, because the game has input lag, it just fucking makes it twice as bad.
I hate input lag, dude. It's infuriating.
So I like eventually gave up and switched over to performance mode. I was like, that's better. But the performance mode sucks as well. It very rarely holds 60 from what I can tell, and drops down to like 40 or 50, most of the time. It really fluctuates a lot. So it helps a little bit, but like, ugh.
And there's still input delay on
still input delay, yeah. And I fiddled around with settings and stuff, and I had a look online, and it's a known problem. It's just a thing. It's just a thing, apparently. It's not a super sensitive aiming game, thankfully. It's more about sort of positioning and timing, but it would be nicer if it didn't have it. But other than that, I'm really enjoying it. The only other dilemma I've had with the game is that it's Japanese. That's the intended language, and I had dubs on for a bit, and I was like, these dubs are a bit shit.
Oh, really?
Quite embarrassing, actually. So yeah, because it's just like some American bros doing everything. I'm like, this is not. It really ruins the vibe of the game.
Yeah.
But the problem is, I wouldn't mind that. So I put it back on Japanese now. But the problem is, and I've never had this problem before because I don't play, Japanese games all that much. It's that obviously in gameplay, it's like looking down at subtitles at the same time. I feel like I'm missing stuff sometimes. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It feels like a weird problem, but it's cool. It's a cool game. It's a cool universe. The sound design, the animations, the world, it's all very cool. The story is like so far. It's like interesting, but like, it's take it or leave it at the moment. People have said about the open world, it's like a very interesting open world. It's very vertical. It doesn't really push me. I don't think it's the most interesting in terms of its structural design. Like there are some things where it is like, here's a thing on map, go to waypoint, click waypoint, go back from waypoint, mission done. And it's like, could have done better here. But then there are some more interesting things, And it also has one of those, I'm so sick of like, I don't even know what you even call it. I don't even know the first game that used it, but to me, it's like the bat vision or whatever. Click a button and highlight everything around you.
Yeah.
And it's like,
it's just easy mode, isn't it?
I just like, yeah. I mean, and I guess you can't just take that away because you'd have to design your game, to not have that, so that things were, you had points of interest that drew you in, and it's just a city, so it's not, doesn't do that. But anyway, overall, I think it's good. I'm like on an 8 so far. I think it's pretty enjoyable. I think this is a really cool world, and it's very unique. The more like linear levels, like the main missions, are very cool, and actually some parts of the collectathon are quite enjoyable, just because of the way that the world's structured. And they've made it so that you can like convert all the collectibles into XP, so that there's like a nice reason to go for it when you see them.
Okay, that's nice. Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's good. Yeah, technically really disappointing. That's easily the worst part of the game. But it's not a deal breaker.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
I need to get our thingy open so I can see if there's anything going on in chat. Can you see chat?
Yeah. Tim is posting some stuff. Yeah. Stuff I don't know if we're going to talk about later as a topic. ZeniMax Europe. Microsoft says the Microsoft acquisition has been hugely beneficial. And then he's asked us what our Redfall predictions are going to be review-wise, which I'm sure we'll talk about later.
It's not even a conversation I want to have.
Yeah.
I'm so scared.
We're very up and down on that. I think Redfall has been the most up and down game I've been following for a little while for me.
I'm so scared.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm sure we'll get to all of that, Timmer. But yeah.
We will.
Keep popping off in chat, bro.
So, a couple of little things. Honestly, we don't like. not a massive show today.
Mm.
Even though we've had massive news, but like, what else can we fucking say that hasn't been said already? You know, so
Exactly. Yeah.
we'll start with the smaller stuff. Tim, we had an Armored Core trailer, didn't we, this week? Did you see that
Yeah,
shit?
I haven't seen it, but I did hear that. Yeah, that dropped and that it's scheduled for release later this year, which is crazy. I really did not think. I mean, you said this would be a 2023 release, didn't you?
Hell yeah.
But
Because it's
I
a
really
security
thought,
team. So.
yeah. But I still thought I thought there's a chance. I didn't completely disregard you. I was just like, that's fair enough. Like it genuinely could be, but I was like, I feel like it was going to be more early 24. So it's quite a surprise that this is dropping in 23.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna buy it. I mean, FromSoft just poop gold at this point. Armored Core isn't really a franchise I have followed or even tried, but I just
They've
feel
all
like
been bad.
have they actually.
They've all been bad.
Oh, that's really interesting. Yeah,
They're
so
all in
I
like the
don't know
50s or
anything.
60s.
I don't know anything
Yeah.
about it. But I mean, mate, if there's any studio that's gonna take it to new heights, it's FromSoft. So
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely. And the trailer was banging. Like it was a really cool trailer. Like really.
Because isn't it like a RTS esque or something? What is it?
No.
No.
It's like a third-person action shooter game. You know. I think to my understanding is that it's like high action third-person shooter essentially. You know. But there's like an insane amount of customization, and even if you watch the trailer, you can see like the different things that are going on with the tanks. Like some of them are hovering around, some of them are running, some of them have like tank rails, you know, different guns, different hair. You know, like that's kind of the idea.
Sweet. Is it like co-op at all, or is it single player?
I think it's single player.
Okay. Can I not summon you into my world?
Yeah, yeah.
They'll find a way to get summon signs in there.
Yeah, they probably will. Yeah, super interesting though. Super interesting trailer for sure.
I'll be sure to watch that.
Just to add to the already stacked year.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars happened as well, Tim. What's been your assessment of Star Wars launching this week?
There's been, I mean, obviously it's very positive overall, but I've seen a lot of negativity around its PC release, and especially like I heard it's got a fucking dumb PC launch, like worse than The Last of Us remake. Like I think like high end PCs are running at like 20 frames and shit like that. Like it's really bad. So that's quite disappointing. But overall, the game's kind of slaps, right? From what I've heard, it's kind of just improved on pretty much every aspect over the original. In terms of like combat and story and all that sort of stuff, and it kind of makes sense with its sort of review score, right? I think it got like a few points higher than the original, so you know it does what the other one does but better, so it gets a few points higher. I think the first one got like 82 or something, and this one's settled at like an 86 or an 87 or something like that, I think.
Yeah, something like that. Let's have a quick check. Yeah, 86 is what I can see for Survivor
and I
right
think
now.
the first one got 82, if I'm not mistaken.
Let's have a look. 82. Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, kind of makes sense, right? Just same but a bit better. So bump up the score by 4 points. Yeah,
man, I loved the first one as well. I thought it was really good. It's one of my favorite games that year. Yeah. Maybe even of last gen. It might have been one of my favorite games of last gen.
Yeah, from what I played of it in classic 2022 Tim that didn't finish games, I've turned over a new leaf. I got like a halfway through it or something, and yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed what I played. And I'm currently playing through it with my partner a little bit at the moment. We've dropped it for the last month or so, but we're probably going to hop back on it and complete that. Yeah, it is great. Yeah, I really enjoyed my time with it. So this is definitely on my radar at some point to squeeze into the year, whether that's before Diablo or after. I know you were tossing up buying it, but yeah.
Yeah, it's looking less and less likely that I buy it right now, especially with the performance being bad. I'm just kind of like, I'll just wait.
I've heard the performance is great on consoles. I heard it's only PC that shit.
No,
No.
no, no. On PC, it's particularly egregious, but it's bad across the board.
Oh,
Our
okay.
friend's got it. Ken's got it. He's been playing it, and he's like, the performance is rough. It's got, in performance mode. I actually don't know. I'm assuming there's a quality in performance mode, but in performance mode, it's going between 40 and 60 like all the time.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's his estimation. So yeah, a bit rough, and like some crashes and bugs. Not too many, clearly, because the score is still quite high. But there is an interesting conversation to be had here about, of course, Redfall releasing on Tuesday, reviews going live tomorrow. About how, like, I somewhat think that this actually helps Redfall.
Yeah, because like if they're not deducting much from this in terms of performance, it would be quite harsh to look at Redfall from a performance perspective, right, and judge it from being 30 frames or whatever, and bumping it down to like 70, or something like that. Yeah, I agree. It does kind of work in its favor. Yeah.
Well, not only that, there is that thing of like, don't offer it if it's not going to work properly. I get that the overall situation is disappointing, that there is a feature of the game is being delayed. But if they had put the quality mode in and the quality mode wasn't good, that would be hit worse than not having it, or it should be. It should be reviewed better for not having it there, as long as the quality mode is stable. At 4K 30, fine, better be locked at 30. But
yeah. I'll be disappointed if that game dips below 30. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll come back round to Redfall. I don't want to do that just yet. But the other side of this, so another part of the Star Wars story, and it's just a little thing, but I saw that they had, gone out their way to make an accessibility mode to take spiders out of the game, for arachnophobia. And for some reason, Tim, the tweet about this blew up, and there were just a load of fucking pricks, just like angry about it, mad, upset that this was something that was being offered.
I don't. Why?
I don't know. Like, a lot of people make these things political. A lot of people are like, "Oh God, you're such a bunch of softies these days." It's like, dude, it's a fucking phobia.
Yeah,
it's about a phobia.
It's a genuine phobia. Plus, it's a switch. You flick it on or off. Like, it doesn't affect you. You can still have spiders in the game. Like, what's your problem?
Yeah. They're just like comments, like loads of likes as well, on Twitter.
Am I wrong? Are you saying they've just taken out spiders completely, or have they just got an option to like?
Yes.
There's
a mode. Like grounded,
in it. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I think it's not as granular as grounded. I think it's literally it'll replace them with a different enemy or something. Give them a different model. But there were loads of comments like, "Oh man, bunch of pussies," and a lot of people were like, "Oh, but it's not even real. It's not even real. But it's just pixels." It's like, have you ever felt emotion watching something or playing something before? Yeah. Okay, so you do understand that you can feel things from watching things. You can't.
Yeah, like what? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I don't know. That's so stupid.
It's just really upsetting.
Yeah, it's just so unnecessary, man. People are just so weird these days. It's just like, I don't get it. It's not affecting you. Like, you can still play the game how you want. You can still kill spiders if you want. Let someone who doesn't want to face their fear today turn it off. Like, I don't...
Yeah, doesn't want to have a fucking panic attack while playing a Star Wars video game.
What's your problem, man? Like, I mean, I know that'd be a great feature for Tilly. Like, she literally, mate, when she sees a spider on the screen, she literally launches the controller across the room and freezes up. So, like, she will absolutely turn this mode on. So, like, but like, it helps people. It'll help someone enjoy the game more. So, like, what's your problem?
I suppose, it's just, as someone who, works in mental health, obviously, it's just kind of harrowing when you see, like, don't get me wrong, like, it's an echo chamber algorithm bullshit thing. I know this not, but I know it's not a lot of people that think this way, but you still, and it just kind of reminds you, it's like, man, there really are some people that are just still living in the Stone Age with this sort of stuff, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like, to think that a phobia isn't a real thing, it's like, oh, fucking hell, it's like 1970s thinking, it's just really disappointing, especially coming from our community, because it gives us a really bad rep.
Yeah. And you guys have got bad enough, right?
Exactly.
Fucking hate psychologists.
That's the one.
Psychopathologists.
All right. Okay, then we're going to get ABK out the way right now.
Oh, okay.
It's blocked.
Moving on.
Next up.
Oh god.
Bit shocking, obviously. Nobody expected this.
You know.
No, nobody expected it. It had been a bit of a roller coaster throughout the last fucking 600 years, as it's felt like. But you know, a lot of people were reporting that insiders were people have told us that the deal was looking to be approved tomorrow, and then out of nowhere blocked. And there's been like 400 pages of like CMA reports, and ultimately, we've known from the beginning. Everybody knows that the CMA is a particularly strict regulatory body, and I'm kind of at the point where it's like, and I've always said this. I think we've both always said this. If you think this is going to cause genuine problems with the industry, so be it. That's how it is. That's how it is, and it's going to be blocked, and that's fine. But then, I guess when we get to sit here as podcasters and whatever, and sit on the other side of it and say, it doesn't seem like you properly understand this bit. That's kind of the part that I think a lot of us get very invested into. And there still are some things here and there that I've read that I'm like, because they dropped the whole thing about consoles. They blocked it for cloud. I don't know if you saw that. Like their main thing was that they're scared that Xbox is going to become hyper dominant in cloud.
Yeah,
cloud, really popular cloud, isn't it?
I just feel like
and that is an argument.
Yeah, I just don't feel like that comes into play here. Like, and plus, like, I just don't see the issue with Xbox just seeing the potential in cloud from now quite a while ago and investing tech in it and building it up for a very long time instead of investing in what Sony have done with VR and stuff like that. Like, I don't feel like someone should be punished for that. Like, I feel like that's how all tech gets big, right? People see potential in it before there's no potential, and then they invest money into it. Like, I feel like that's ridiculous. To penalize someone for that, but I don't know.
And that's it, isn't it? It's like a lot of the wording that's been used throughout is nascent, and I haven't heard that word before this whole deal. Nascent. Isn't that a great word? Nascent. Oh, I've got it right up on Google for you.
Okay, thank you.
Just coming into existence and beginning to display signs of future potential. I didn't.
Yeah, it's new for me.
Nascent. What a great fucking word. It's like my lunch.
And it means
my lunch
a
is nascent.
sentence as well. It's one word that means a sentence. It's quite impressive.
Brilliant. But vocab aside, it's part of the, I think, upset is that cloud is so not there yet. We think as enthusiasts, as mega enthusiasts who do this and that, we recognize it's quite cool and we use it every now and then, but no one's sitting at home just playing on cloud. Xbox has put all this groundwork in over the last decade, really, to try and get it in the place where they can now scale up. And now there's a regulatory body stepping in and being like, no, you can't scale up, which I think is difficult because as well, they've been saying, oh, Microsoft is going to be incentivized to make it all exclusive to their platform, the cloud stuff, even though they've made like 65,000 deals with different stream services across the world. Yeah. And they made another one the other day with Spanish streaming service Enware. And even those streaming services have come out and been like, no, we want this, because the CMA in some of the reports, they were like, oh, we're doing this to protect. Part of this is to protect those cloud services. And the cloud services are like, no, what? No, no, I want this.
We said yes.
Yeah,
we weren't being forced.
This is consensual.
Yeah.
So that's been a couple of different points of contentions, and then there's a number that's going around that Brad Smith, president of Microsoft, said regarding the popularity of xCloud in the UK. At the moment, Tim, there is 5,000 concurrent UK xCloud users.
Yes.
5,000.
Trash. It's not very
high,
no.
Don't want can't have a monopoly.
Yeah. That's
There's
fucking
more people
rookie
picking their
numbers.
nose at one time.
It's a drop in the ocean. Yeah. It's absolutely nothing.
So, you know, I think the deal is as good as dead. They're going to appeal it. They're going to take it to CAT, the Competition Appeal Tribunal, I think it is. Going to get fucking dragged out another year, Tim. This.
Like, is that just your theory, or is it genuinely going to take like a year? I'm scared.
No, nobody knows.
Okay.
Really, nobody knows with what urgency it's going to be treated. You know, it's safe to say it's going to be another couple months at least, because once the CAT have reviewed it and made their decision, if they do overturn it, they send it back to the CMA. And then the CMA has to make the decision again with the information that CAT's given them. There are some rare circumstances where the CAT can just be like, no, this is irrational, we're approving it. But, super rare.
Yeah. So it's as good as dead. What do you think is going to happen or by Capcom?
I think it's safe to assume it's dead unless it happens otherwise. Well, this is the thing, right? Because the problem is, with the theory that the CMA is putting forward, Xbox can't buy anything.
Well, anything over a certain price threshold, yeah.
And what even makes this even more fucked up is that PlayStation could now go and buy ABK and the CMA would allow it because they didn't have cloud.
That's true.
They dropped the console theory of harm. They were like, actually, it's fine. Maybe they'd have a different take on it because PlayStation is the market leader. But the fact that all of that is being kind of ignored, and cloud is now the big thing, that is kind of worrying. And the CMA did say, they did say in the documents, they said, Xbox should go after some smaller studios instead. So they've been given the green light. So I think if it gets blocked, I think Xbox is just going on a fucking spending spree on maybe smaller publishers or bigger developers. I mean, we'll have to see. They're clearly not done buying stuff. But
no, yeah. I mean, what would be maybe like FromSoft? Maybe Bandai.
Maybe.
Who do NetherRealm? Things like that. These are all
they're part of Warner Brothers.
Options.
Maybe they look at Warner Brothers again.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of potential in Warner Brothers for sure.
But at the same time, man, like I kind of just can't be bothered. Like I kind of would be happy for them to just, I don't know,
also
just get through some smaller things and then just announce it when it's done. Like I don't want this again. We can't be doing this for 6 or 7 years.
No, yeah. But like also just like with this getting blocked and Xbox having to go down different avenues, like where does that leave Blizzard? As a company, like they're going to be fucked, right? Like.
I mean, so I don't want to knee jerk, but we've said for a while that ABK their stock is really low. Talent is leaving the company really quickly. And if they don't sell, I think they're going to really struggle. They do still sell the most popular game on the planet on an annual basis. And I think that's a problem, actually, not a safety net, because I think they're just going to triple, quadruple down on pulling people out of other teams and putting them on COD.
Yes.
Because they need to, and I think it will probably stay that way for another 5 or 10 years, until they're stable again, because COD is safe,
Mm-hmm.
And I do. I think they had said they put out. Somebody had left and said that they were putting together crisis roadmaps. They were having to rejig roadmaps that they originally had planned out, of what they can get out at bare minimum because people are leaving, and that's only going to get worse. I really worry about the state of the future of Overwatch 2 and Diablo. There's no way this doesn't impact Diablo 4 in some way, whether it's slower content or less QA,
and just all future games and stuff like that. What's that going to mean for that new survival game they're building? Is that just going to get delayed indefinitely until the company's back on its feet? All this kind of stuff. It's just shit, man. It really is. It's a real shame.
It is. So we'll have to see We'll have to
Overwatch
see.
2
I mean,
skins will go up even more in price. Like
yeah, that's right.
80
That
quid
is
a skin.
impossible. Yeah. To take a mortgage out on it. You know, and then there's been, you know, I don't know, Microsoft appear to be very angry, of course. And this is the thing as well. It's such a big PR blow for Xbox and Microsoft, and it's such a waste of resources. Like in the documents, it says that they've missed out on acquisitions in the meantime. You know, and I think the biggest, most obvious targets would be Certain Affinity, and who are helping on a few things, Halo, and then they're making that Monster Hunter type game for Xbox. And then who is this? Is it Square Enix? Square Enix that's helping out on Perfect Dark? Crystal Dynamics.
Crystal Dynamics, yeah.
Thank
Just
you.
beat me to it. I almost actually fucking got there before you.
You did.
I was like, you are Crystal Dynamics. Fuck's sake. I would have seemed so smart.
I think those would be like prime targets. And Asobo as well, who did Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Okay.
And they've done some other things as well. You know, I think these would be like obvious targets for acquisition, like small acquisitions that would get through easy peasy, and they just haven't been able to. And every day that goes past is a danger that someone like Tencent, someone like PlayStation, or someone like Embracer scoops these companies up, you know.
Yeah.
And not only that, it does kind of feel like they've taken, I don't know, there has been this feeling that since this has been going on, Xbox has taken their eye off the ball a little bit. I mean, what do you think about that?
Well, I don't think it's a case of they've taken their eye off the ball. I just don't think they've, like you said, this has just taken all of their time and resource. Like, I just don't think they've been able. Plus, they're probably not able to make acquisitions while this is going on, right? Because it's so many potential funds locked up and used for this one deal. So I don't think it's a case of them having their eye off the ball. It's just a case of, like you said, with this all going on, it's just wasted so much time and potential buying opportunities. You know, there's no doubt in my mind that Xbox have probably Microsoft have probably thought, like, yeah, we should buy a lot of these studios that you just listed and stuff like that, but we can't though, because you know, we're locked into this. We can't just start going spending money when 70 billion's also on the line, right? Plus that will also that will probably act negatively on the deal itself as well, as it's going on.
Exactly.
So yeah, it just feels, pardon me, it just feels like a colossal waste of time. Like, genuinely, it just feels like all that's happened here is Xbox have just lost a year of potentially buying up studios and, you know, starting to ramp up, you know, even more than they currently have. So, waste of time.
Yeah, I'm with you. It does feel a bit like that. It was fun for like the first few weeks, you know. I remember how hopeful we were, you know, Spring Chickens. Yeah, the graphic. Oh, imagine all these IPs that Xbox could bring back. Blizzard. And I've got my hopes up with Blizzard. You know, I thought I was really excited about that in particular. And it's a shame to now have to let that go, really. But, you know.
What's the likelihood of would Xbox still be allowed to do that thing where you know, one of their potential passing points to let the deal through was to just take Blizzard and split it off from Activision? You know, do you think there's a chance Xbox might do that as like a settle and just be like, fine, we'll just take Blizzard for like 30? Or
no, I don't think that ever happens.
You don't think that's...
Nah. They haven't even acknowledged Blizzard, really. I mean, I think it's nice. It's like the console part, but I think they've said publicly King, you know, for mobile, to get us into mobile, and obviously COD. No, I think Blizzard is the like console kind of hopium there.
Yeah.
I'm just having a look in the chat. Tavish Hill, Nerd Propellant. Oh, it's Nerd Propellant. Hey, buddy.
Who's
we
Nerd
talk
Propellant?
on Twitter.
Okay.
I've got friends, Tim. I've got connections on Twitter. Yeah,
it's awkward. I feel kind of like a third wheel here.
Actually, very quick shout out. anybody listening, Nerd Repellent on Twitter, he makes these like really cool light boxes. Like
Okay.
I think you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's like they're like wood with light in them. So he does like Sea of Thieves cannonballs, like artwork where it's like carved. It's like, you know, like negative space, and then the light shines through it. They're
Yeah.
fucking sick.
Oh,
So I
that's
just wanted to
cool,
plug
man.
that.
Nice.
They're very cool. They're really cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about this whole blockage, man.
It just is what it is, right? We talked to this deal to death, and it's been blocked. So, and it's probably probably done. Like,
this is an Xbox podcast's worst fucking nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody, we were so excited last week. We literally celebrated. We were like, it's going to be done. Next week, it's going to be all over, and we're going to be able to wind down.
I was going to shoot through the moon, wasn't I?
Shoot through the moon. Yeah, that's what we said. We're going to shoot through the moon.
No.
Ukraine approved, though.
It's good of them, man. I was like
those guys. Yeah. Yeah. And like, this is like, you know, we spoke about this kind of hypothetical of like being from the UK, you know, if it wasn't obvious. There is some like fucked up outcome here where Xbox has does some weird thing where it, and not pulls out because the whole of Microsoft would have to pull out and that's just not happening, but has some weird like thing where it bypasses the UK on like Activision or ABK games on cloud in the UK. Or maybe that means they'd have to take them out of Game Pass entirely, you know, like ABK, we're going to put it through, but for the UK, ABK games can't go on Game Pass because if they do, then they're on cloud.
That's true. Or, yeah, I mean, that wouldn't be the end of the world for me. Like, because like we said, like, I mean, we're not avid cloud users, really. So, like, if this deal went through and they were like, yeah, you still get them. And, like, they still can come to Games Pass. They just take away that functionality that they can be played cloud.
Maybe.
Like, they're just, I don't know. I know that's a technicality and technically goes away from what Games Pass is because it's supposed to be, you know, anything in there can be played cloud. But maybe for these, they just don't, you know, and that would be fine with me. It's not ideal, but it's still fine. I'd be disappointed if yeah, it all goes through and everything, but I still have to pay full price for these things. I don't get the Games Pass.
I'm not hopeful about anything, really.
Just anything.
This is my life now.
Wow, man, this is really done a number.
When's this? When's the recession hitting? When's global warming going to hit its you know, irreversible point?
It really has.
When's the oceans going to be so polluted that we can't drink tap water anymore? When are the nano bees going to come for us?
The nano bees is still a way off. Everything else is a bit closer.
You think?
Yeah, the nano bees they're gonna wait.
Phew. That's actually giving me a bit of sigh of relief.
They need every advantage they can get. They're an advanced race, but they can't attack us head on yet. They need to wait for the caps to melt a bit more and for the world to start destroying itself.
Is it them? Are they the ones doing it? Is this like, wow?
We don't talk about it, Dick, because they'll come for us if we figure it out. So just shut the fuck up.
Okay, we'll do. You know, speaking of conspiracies, I've actually got a good one.
Go on then.
This is Xbox related. I'm not just talking shit.
Okay.
Games with Gold. We know all about. We love Games with Gold, don't we? It's a good service. It's a really good service. It's very good. It's very good. And you know, I've been thinking after seeing the games that came out this month. You know, let me have a look. Games with Gold. I feel like to really emphasize my point, I need to just quickly check what they are. So for this month, we've got Star Wars Racer.
Nice.
Just the one. Star Wars Racer. I don't know. I think that's a 360 game. I don't know.
Okay.
And then the other one is Hoa.
What's Hoa?
Hoa. I don't know, man.
All right.
I mean, no disrespect to these games, but for Games of Gold, it's
Well, what's your conspiracy theory?
It's peculiar. My conspiracy, Tim, is that Games of Gold is a Trojan horse. What if Xbox has known since 2020, since the start of this gen, they're going to be acquiring big publishers. And they've got Game Pass, and they're like, look, at some point down the line, one of these fucking regulators might say that they can't put these games on Game Pass because Game Pass is cloud.
But they
We can't do that.
gold.
What if they say that? So how about we just keep Game Pass going on life support? Every now and then we'll rock up with the fucking defibrillator. We'll keep it going, like tube feed it MASH. And the occasional HOA. And then, if that happens, we'll just Call of Duty's going on Games of Gold in the UK. No biggie. Not the same thing, is it? It's different. It's not cloud service.
Yeah, it's just enough to slip by unnoticed. I think I know what you mean.
And it's like 1 month, the like Games with Gold for August 2023. It's like 60 games.
Yeah.
It's like this massive infographic.
This is like everything, yeah.
That's my conspiracy.
I mean, it's got to be a reason they're keeping it about, right? I like it.
I mean, there has to be a better reason than them just dangling that shit in my face every month on purpose. Every month, like, and then it goes away.
Yeah. Eventually, they're gonna dangle a diamond instead of a piece of shit. You're like, oh, what's the Games for Gold this fucking month? Diablo 4? What?
Yeah. That's it. And that's it as well, isn't it? We're not getting Diablo 4 now on Game Pass. That'd be nice. They're on cloud. All of that strategy's out the window. Fuck's sake.
If you wanted to play a Diablo game on mobile on the go, you can just play Diablo Immortal, which is an exceptional game.
Yeah? Have you played it?
No. I don't have a spare 100k in my bank account to spend on it, so I'm okay, thanks. I don't know if they've improved it, but I heard it was absolutely fucking ridiculous to actually like do stuff in that game. Like it would genuinely cost you hundreds of pounds.
Yeah, fair enough. It was such a weird strategic blunder as well, wasn't it? Like, let's release Diablo Immortal and then a year and a half later release Diablo 4. What? Why?
Yeah, should be the other way around.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm sorry. I don't have the willpower, nor do I have the expertise, nor do I have the fucking juice in my brain, to keep going. If it gets blocked, it gets blocked, and then we'll move on to the next thing for Xbox, which hopefully is not this. I mean, that would be cool and all. We spoke about that when it first happened, but I just don't know if I can bear another 1 or 2 year.
Would that really go through the same treatment, though?
Probably not. Let's have a look. Warner Bros. Games market cap.
That's what it should be called.
Warner Bros.
They won't buy it. We're changing the name to Warner Bros. Warner Bros.
Market cap.
And like, the thing is, because it's Warner. Up, when you boot up the game, it's like, bruh.
That's the splash screen.
Yeah.
Bruh. So it's Warner Bros. Discovery, obviously, because those companies merged. But apparently the market cap is 33 bill. So
easy.
About half.
Pocket change.
Half ABK.
That shit can go buy cash in a duffel bag. Nothing needs to happen there.
Yeah, that's enough to get you some good stuff in Diablo Immortal, I would say.
Yeah, yeah, maybe you might be able to max out your barbarian with that. not your sorcerer.
If you're lucky. Man, So we've got a couple of things going on in chat. Let's have a look. Timmer is expecting. Well, no. Timmer says we expect some non-games industry players to acquire some publishers and developers. Tavish has said Apple, maybe. I'm surprised Apple aren't more involved in this. But having said that, watching Google and Amazon freak the fuck out, like maybe, I don't know. They couldn't they? They're just not like doing it properly. I don't know.
Do what?
Like they could. All of these megaton tech giants could get involved in the gaming industry. They're just really fucking it up. Amazon, Google, Apple.
Yeah. Yeah, they totally could. Yeah.
Tavish says, I can see Sony buying CD Projekt Red. Please don't say that. Do not ever repeat those words again in my chat.
Yeah, you're one fucking comment away from getting banned, mate.
Yeah, that would be devastating. But you know what? I think there was something about PlayStation have increased their acquisition spending budget by 20% for next year. So this ain't ending anytime soon. These companies are going to keep buying up studios. So we'll just have to see. And as well, it's worth mentioning, I think this was the other thing I wanted to say, I've got it on the notes, but Phil has said, there is an Xbox without Activision, like this accelerates the vision, This isn't, we're still going to keep going without this. So a lot of people are, really feel that Xbox is going to somehow explode if ABK doesn't go through.
No, not at all. Just spend the money elsewhere, and plus we've got loads of the first party studio is insane already. We've got tons, we've got tons coming out still this year outside of anything that was coming ABK. So no, we're not just going to implode and vanish into a black hole.
Well, maybe.
I mean, technically, a black hole could open. We could all get sucked into it. Yes, there is a minute chance that might happen, but I don't think that's anything to do with the APK deal.
Do you know what I think's worse than
Spencer has a portable black hole and just decides to end it all?
Yeah. Do you know what I think would be worse than a big black hole? A little black hole.
What do you mean?
Like just a tiny one. So it's really small, and you can't really see it.
But like, what? What is it doing? Is it a threat at that point? I don't understand.
This even more embarrassing because I think Tavish is a physics professor or something. So
is he actually?
It's gonna be fucking. He's gonna click off the podcast immediately. Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, I think of course it'd be a threat. Like, pull your shit in. I mean, not, I think it would bend you out of shape. Do you know what I mean? And you wouldn't know where it is. You'd be like, where is it?
You can't.
And then all of a sudden, the light around your lounge is disappearing. It's like being sucked. Like you're like, what's going on? But you can't see it. It's tucked under the sofa or something. Have you not thought about this? Are these not the sort of thoughts that you have on a day-to-day basis?
No, I'm not a fucking mental patient. My background is cosmology and astrophysics, and he says you can't see large black holes either. Essentially, he's calling you an idiot.
I don't think he said that. I don't think he quite said that.
He did. He's been slamming full stops at the end of all of his sentences.
Cringy, shut up. Shut up. Okay, let's move on. I just thought it'd be funny, right? I still think the small black hole would be quite funny.
It would be quite funny, yeah.
All right.
It's enough to be inconvenient and sucks away all your body hair.
Sucks away your body. Yeah. This is Dyson's next fucking product.
It's just introducing the black hole Dyson.
It's not how black holes work at all. It's not just a Hoover. It's a giant space Hoover.
We've utilised the power behind mini black holes.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Over at Dyson.
And you're all going to be the first to test it.
Yeah.
Spaghettification, possible. All right. So there was something else that I wanted to say about this, actually. Now that I've had that conversation, it's really cleared my mind. It's really cleared my mind, not about black holes, no.
Okay.
Fuck, hang on. Just a second. Just a second. So this is it. A lot of the response to this has been like, oh, great, Xbox should just go and do what Sony are doing and just buy like smaller studios and do make third party deals. And I'm like, firstly, I'm like, okay, why do we have to do this thing where everybody has to compete the same way? Why does Xbox have to compete the same way that the PlayStation is competing? Why do they have to do the thing that they're clearly not as good at? Like, it's such a crazy argument to me.
Yeah,
it's clearly not a money problem. Like, maybe they'll get there at some point where they can compete on the same level in that particular area in the way that Sony does things. Secondly, why does everybody want all third-party games to have a 3-year timed exclusivity to a particular console? Why do people want that?
To me.
Imagine every game that came out, you had to look up which console it's going to be exclusive for 3 years. Because that's how bad it's gotten with, and because if Xbox retaliates with these sorts of deals, PlayStation are going to do the same. It's just going to get worse. Like, I don't know why people want that. At least with this acquisition and like the Bethesda acquisition, there is a level of kind of respect. Like, of course, exclusive titles are leveraged, but things like Elder Scrolls Online is still going. Fallout 76 is still going. These new Skyrim editions, are still going to other consoles. ABK, there was going to be lots of multi-platform stuff there. I don't know why everybody is like, no, we have to do it this way.
Yeah. No, I prefer the vision of just buying up. Yeah, just like one big deal. And still sharing that cross-platform, and also just knowing that IP is associated with a specific brand rather than just you lose track of it when everything's split off into like fucking 40 different things. It's like, who owns fucking FromSoft again? Like, what?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, it's so confusing. It's like, well, their last game was exclusive to PlayStation. This one's exclusive to Switch. And now the next one's exclusive to Xbox. I can't keep up with this shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, why do we want this? I do think there's a degree of like the way it's always been kind of appeals to us because, we speak about this idea in therapy, this kind of idea of tolerance of certainty, like you can never have a degree of certainty, but a lot of people have fluctuating levels of tolerance. And when their tolerance is really bad, it's like, it's got to stay the same.
Yeah.
Got to stay the same. Got to stay the same. I'm really scared to look at the chat, honestly, after that whole black hole conversation.
Oh no, they've popped onto. They're talking about Bethesda Game Studios, which are apparently working on a mobile project. And they're just predictions on it.
Thank God for that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the ChatGPT and Skyrim thing. Did you see that? That was pretty interesting.
I didn't know.
Somebody made a mod. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. I can see Tavish has brought it up. the incorporated ChatGPT into like the dialogue system in Skyrim.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
And it was like, it's apparently quite good because, the ChatGPT understands the lore of Skyrim. So when you're having conversations with it, it's spitting out like actual believable side mission dialogue,
That's cool.
I think it's really interesting, this kind of idea. And with that, we're actually at a stage of AI could be incorporated into products, and I think it's clearly something Xbox are looking into. I mean, what's kind of your thoughts about that, and chat as well? Like, what's your thought of this idea of like stuff being written by AI versus people? Like, there's a lot of angles, isn't there? Like cost effective, human versus non-human, like believability. What do we think?
I don't really know, to be honest. I don't think we've dipped our toes enough in the water to know how well it would present itself on screen, like how well it'd come off in terms of its like readability and stuff like that over someone actually sort of writing it themselves and scripting it themselves and stuff like that. I think it's pretty hard to tell, but I mean, I don't have anything against it. Like the idea of something like that, especially if it's sort of like done off like a living world, like in the moment, that could be kind of cool. Um, like the sort of the AI like develops and reacts to what you do in the game as well, and changes like as and when you do something. That could be kind of cool. But yeah, no, I mean I
That
don't
is
have
interesting.
anything against it, but it's very unfamiliar territory, and obviously it hasn't been done enough to actually to know to like compare the two and say I would rather have AI over. It's
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's because at this stage, from what I can tell, the only thing that's really being that's in the discussion is dialogue. Like, AI and procedural generation, which I guess is AI, to a lesser extent, has been used for a while, to generate like long stretches of textures, and we haven't really complained about that, but there's a loud section of people who feel that games shouldn't and can't be written by AI, because it won't be good enough, or it's not like true writing, it's not real writing. And it's an interesting dilemma, because on one hand, like, if you can't tell, is it really? And the other angle of it is, games are getting they're taking so long to make. I'm not surprised these companies are aggressively seeking solutions to speed up
that
the
part of the game.
yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Yeah.
There's something to be said about like minor dialogue versus major dialogue as well, right? Like major, like important, like main quest isn't being written by GPT, but like ambient dialogue, maybe some side quest stuff. I think there's definitely scope for that to be explored in the same way that, like I said before, with textures and world building, procedural generation is used for like long swathes of kind of land, but then the important bits are handcrafted. I think that's kind of
Yes. Yeah.
the approach here. So yeah, it was just interesting.
Yeah. It could work quite well in terms of like NPC dialogue in a living world or something like that. But not so much, like you said, like an actual main story plot. But yeah, you just really can't tell. Yeah, who knows? Potentially.
Okay. Potentially. So there was some earning call information, but I don't want to do this right now. I think we will do it in the episode, but I want to just move on to Redfall. I feel like now's the right time. So if you're still watching, everyone, if you hate this, or maybe it's just all right, give it a like. Maybe subscribe. Yeah, you do it out of hate. To give us a hate fucking subscription,
Yeah, we'll take anything.
God damn it. Yeah, I'll take anything at this point. If you want more conversations about more misguided conversations about your field of expertise that make you cringe, we are the place for you. This is a podcast for you.
Yeah. I feel like we hit that niche pretty hard. Yeah.
we really excel in that area. And it's the thing is, the best part is that it's like all areas, really. So it's quite accessible to really anyone.
Yeah.
You work in fast food,
we can make that work.
we make that work. You work in politics, we can make that work. I do like the idea of someone like, a regulator has been watching for the last 2 years, just out of pure suffering, just listening to the podcast, like, just like
oh God, I hope so. I really hope there's someone like that behind the screen right now. Hang in there, buddy.
Yeah. Like, gets home from a night out after cheating on his wife.
Yeah.
Like, goes to his laptop, plugs in an episode of the Quick Resume podcast, episode fucking 80, talking about the ABK deal. He's like, he's like punishing, flagellating on the screen.
Oh God.
Okay. Oh, hang on. We've got some more stuff in chat. Yeah, agree with Tim's point there. That's really rare. That is really rare. That doesn't really happen.
Rare.
Wow. Fucking excellent. Well done.
My boy. Let's go.
So it's so wild. It's too new to really compare. You might even call it nascent.
Nice. Very nice.
Thanks. I'm really like hot. I feel quite like flustered.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're wearing a hoodie. It's quite warm today. Is it like? It's like
Yeah,
15 degrees where I am. Like that's the warmest it's been in the UK for a while. I know, like I don't know where
Yeah.
Timmer and Tavish are. They're probably like 15 degrees. Fucking, I wear a fucking fleece.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
here that's kind of warm. I'm in a t-shirt, shorts right now.
that is sunbathing weather.
Yeah.
15 degrees. Okay. It's Redfall time. Let's do it. Okay, so what happened in the last week? Two things, really. We had the launch trailer, banger, best trailer comfortably so far, legitimately just a good trailer. And the second thing was that the boxes started getting seen in stores, and there was a little label saying 60 FPS mode, not there at launch. Because on the box, it says 60 frames a second.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's bad luck, isn't it? Don't know if I've ever seen that happen before.
No, I think that's the first for me. But I think, like we said, that's that reinstalls your theory. No, what's the word that like
you can do
strengthens your theory?
You can reinforce it, maybe.
Reinforces your theory
yeah.
that it was just like a last minute bug or like technical issue that they had. Because it's pretty dire for Xbox just be like print fucking stickers and just stick it on the back. Like we can't change them. Yeah.
It strikes me as a last minute critical bug, and they only announced it like 2 weeks ago, didn't they, or something?
Yeah.
And they hit something, and they were like, "Fuck! If we try and go ahead, this is gonna suck. This is gonna suck. This is gonna be a sucky mode."
It'd be interesting to actually like, what's your theory on when they might actually just pump the 60 into the game? Like, do you think it will be as quick as like a month or two, or do you think it will be like 6 months or something like that? Like, do you think they might be able to jump that hurdle quite quick? I mean, it's probably their priority number one, right? I mean, they're going to probably look at how the game obviously launches and any critical bugs that are being found by the public and everything like that. But outside of that, their priority number one is to just get that 60 ready, right?
I think so. I mean, I'd like to think it would be reasonably quick. Given, like, before this news, part of the theory was that maybe Arcane just didn't have the expertise for whatever reason to put a 60 frame together. Because, I mean, even though it's not a looker, maybe on a resolution level, it's still, the whole world is rendered at all times, that it's 4-player untethered. I think that does create difficulties in how you can optimize this stuff. But now with this, we know that they were trying, that they'd even had it planned, for 60. So that makes me think it'll probably be quite quick. Maybe 2 weeks. Maybe a month.
That's what Timmer seems to think. 2 weeks, and then Tavish says they'll have a patch ready for the E3 as like a little announcement, something like that.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I'm so fucking mixed about this game.
It's hard to tell, isn't it?
Like part of me makes me think that they just want to get this out. Like they know this has had development problems, and they're like, we can't keep funding this. Like you just need to get it out, and we need to get it out before the showcase. Not that I think it's going to be a fucking disaster. I just think, if it comes in at low 70s, they know that is dreadful PR.
Yeah, it's not something they're
it looks bad on all fronts.
Yeah,
and for Bethesda, it looks bad for Bethesda. Bethesda has had a bad run. Hi-Fi Rush has been like really the only good positive PR hit they've had in a while, unless I'm missing something. Maybe. Oh, sorry. I guess Deathloop from a couple of years back. The W's they've been taking have been fewer and far between. Ghostwire, I guess, was kind of good. It wasn't a loss.
Yeah,
it wasn't a loss for sure. But Arcane, like one of the, arguably one of the premier studios in terms of critical success, not doing well disrupts confidence a bit. It weakens the brand association between Xbox and Bethesda because it makes it look, it makes it look like Xbox had a hand in the. And then people are going to say, and I'm probably going to say it as well, that the game should have been delayed if it wasn't ready, if there is, for whatever reason. I just don't think Xbox at this point can be releasing first party games under 80.
Yes.
maybe
Well,
we could.
I don't think
Maybe
any
we could.
studio wants to do that, but especially
No,
Xbox.
and a 70 game can be good. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. It's just that Xbox need to hit this cadence of consistency. Like, we've spoken about how well or not well Xbox have done in the last few years, and quality wise, they've done well. It's the quantity wise and the consistency side of things that's just being a bit shaky. And this, if Redfall doesn't get at least 80, it's just going to, crystallize that idea of like, look how inconsistent Xbox are. Hi-Fi Rush was great at the beginning of the year. Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition, great. Oh, but then Minecraft Legends, low 70s. And then Redfall, a studio who's made nothing but critical darling hits for the last 5 years, low 70s.
It's rough. Yeah. It's not.
And now we've got to wait for the showcase, hope that Starfield is the banger. So that it puts more pressure on Starfield, which I don't think the game needs.
More pressure and more eyes. Yeah, just everything's looking at Starfield more than.
Forza's going to be there, which will be, it will be great. We all know Forza's going to be great, but that's not. It's not an addition. Like, people want to see this expansion. Like, Forza's always been great.
Yeah.
And then maybe we get Hellblade 2 this year, which I'm confident Hellblade 2 is going to be very good. If that makes it this year. So that might be a saving grace. But I don't want to have to be doing this sort of contingency planning where I'm like, oh, well, if this isn't good, then something else can be good to make up for it. Like, we shouldn't be doing that. No. Like, so that's just why I'm kind of nervous about it.
You should have faith in your games, right? They shouldn't install you with it might be, but if it doesn't, and we got this to fall on, it should just be like, what they're trying to sell to you should be convincing enough that it's going to be a great product. And as much as I think Redfall will be good, but I've been so up and down on that game. It was one of my most anticipated games when I first saw it and it first got announced, and I've been following it for a long time, obviously with Deck and on the show and everything. And increasingly, more and more, I've just gotten, like, I'd say overall less hyped with small little like hype spikes.
I've become doubtful.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Doubtful, yeah. And then as Deck and I think even Tavish said earlier in the chat that the latest launch trailer did help. It did help with my excitement of the game. It definitely was their best trailer to date. But yeah, it's just impossible to predict where this game is going to land. Like, genuinely, I think it's one of the more difficult ones I've had to try and think about and predict here. I'm thinking it'd be interesting to get what everyone else thinks in the chat. Write what number you think Redfall is going to hit as a Opencritic or Metacritic, whichever one you guys use. Don't do a poll. They can just type.
I love polls.
No, because it clogs up the screen. They could just type. Plus, they could talk about their numbers. So just clicking a button. Stop making a poll, Deck.
Okay, fine.
I saw you with your fucking tongue out. I knew you were making a poll. Yeah, because I think it's going to be. I want to say it will crack 80, like bang on. I don't think it's getting higher than 80. But my gut feeling is probably exactly what Tavish and Tim are saying. I'm thinking 70, 77, 78, 79, somewhere around that high 70s area. I'd love for it to crack 80, but I just don't know. Come on, Deck.
I'm going to be sick.
What about you?
I'm going to vomit. I'm just going to play the pessimism so that way I can't be disappointed, and I'm just going to say it's low 70s.
Really? Thinking like 72, yep. 71.
Yeah. Which, like, the thing, so, oh my God. So the thing is, every time I see the game, especially in the launch trailer, I'm like, actually, there are some parts of this I'm like, I don't know. But then there are other parts I'm like, that is great. Like, all the music is really good. The atmosphere is really good. All of the music, like the sound editing. Nice. The mission design looks nice. You know, we don't really know about the story. The premise is obviously really cool. It's like scientific vampires, and especially when you start thinking about the vampire gods, like how the fuck did they get so twisted like that? They're people.
That's cool.
You know?
Yeah.
there are loads of those elements where I'm like, I can already see that. I can see just looking at it, those elements are like
Good.
Typical 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 arcane standard. But then it's like, do the other elements pull the game down that much? Because that does happen. Sometimes there are some parts of the game which are so mid that it pulls the whole experience down. You know, like, how does the game work? And there's just layers on layers. You know, it's like, how does the game work as solo versus co-op? And generally, I think outlets are really bad at reviewing games that offer solo and co-op content. I don't feel like they ever able to give a good score, like a good reflection of how they play or how you can play. They'll like tell you the bad parts of each and then give the lowest denominator. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'd say my biggest worry going into Redfall, and from what I've seen in almost every single trailer, including the launch trailer, is the AI. That is my biggest worry for that game. Like, that's what I think is going to make or break it, because I just think from what I've seen, the AI looks fucking shit. Like, it looks awful. I've seen shit sliding. I've seen shit clipping. I've seen people just standing there not firing at you, and it just doesn't feel like it will flow that well. It feels like it's either going to be way too easy, or like if you spike up the difficulty, all they're going to do is just the enemies just do 300% more damage to you. You know, it's just like, well, great. That's not a difficulty spike, is it? You're just fucking getting a damage slider and going whoop with it. That's all you're doing. And I feel like that's always going to be. I just think the AI looks really quite dire in that game. And that's what's really scaring me. And I hope it will improve, because AI is so important in arcane games, because there's stealth elements, there's ways you approach each mission, you know, to like lure people over to specific points and use traps or sneak or enter through different areas. And it's just like, if the AI is fucking dumb, everyone's just going to run in and just shoot them, because what's the point in doing all that? Like, you know, it's very important in an arcane game to me. So
yeah, no, I'm with you. And we've spoken about this before. I think you know, in most arcane games, the AI is on the dumb side, I would say. And I'm someone who generally thinks all arcane games are excellent, you know, and we've spoken about like kind of how that facilitates the gameplay, you know, et cetera, et cetera. However, I think it's a bit different here because you've got less tools at your disposal. You've got four, you know, there are going to be times where there's 2 or 3 of you or 4 of you, and like, how is the AI going to cope with dealing with 4 of you? And like, my concerns is like, can you just like, the angler vampire, the one who like yanks you in, can only pull 1 person in at a time. It doesn't like that mechanic doesn't scale up.
So essentially that would just be really easy with like 3 to 4 players. Like 2 players, it might be a bit of a pitch, like, oh my god, it's grabbed me, Deck, you need to fucking solo this guy. You know, but like any more than that, yeah, like you said, he just grabs 1 player at a time and then just gets nuked by the other players. It's just not a threat, right? You know, and I have said that one of the ways that they scale up with extra players or extra levels, so like as you get more powerful, is that they spawn in more elite vampires. I can see that working. You know, now you don't just have a single angler, you have an angler. There's 2
and
patrolling
the shroud one, or there's 2. You know, you've got and that kind of, you know, now, you know, you're all in the shroud thing, and the angler pulls one of you out, and you can't see the other one because I can see that working. It's just such a knife edge. It's just such a knife edge. You know.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't. From what I've seen, though, my assessment is that I don't think that it's going to work all that well with 3 or 4 players. To be honest,
Yeah.
Maybe some people are going to enjoy that. I just think it's going to be, if you play this with 3 or 4 players, for the most part, you know, depending on how you're playing and what group of friends you're with, etc., etc.
Roll through everything.
It looks like it's just going to be a mediocre looter shooter, you know, and that's not what this game really is, you know.
Yeah.
That's the difficulty I'm having in trying to assess the score of where it's going to come in at.
I mean, we've already said that we're going to play this, just me and you. I mean, even though we have other friends, we could play this as a four player co-op game. We've kind of agreed that we feel like it's going to be best enjoyed with 2 players. So that's how we're going to go into it. Yeah.
Yes. No, I would love that. And just to catch up on the chat, Tavish said Prey was 79 MC. Depends where you look. I've seen people throw this around a little bit, and you are right. On PlayStation, which was the dominant reviewed platform when it came out, it did get 79 on Metacritic. On Opencritic, however, the score is 81.
Still deserves higher.
Right. And like, I've said this before, like if you go back and I took it, you can find it on my Twitter if you have a look. I went back and like read some Reddit threads and Twitter threads and stuff like that and had a look at reactions to the Prey trailers as well, and exactly the same things. Man, the combat looks so boring and stiff. Just it looks bad. It doesn't look graphically very good. It looks like an Xbox 360 game. All of these things are present in that trailer as well. And then the game came out at high 70s, maybe scraping 80s. And now everybody reveres it as one of the best games ever. And I do think part of that is because the FPS boost came along afterwards,
and great DLC,
and gave it kind of a second wind. It had a good DLC, and that's fine. Like, but that is really an outlying circumstance that games get this sort of single player games get this massive second wind. And it's not like Prey is a popular game either. It's only like I would, let's just say for argument's sake, an extra 2 million people played it, and those 2 million people were like, "Wow, this is really good," and they're very vocal about it. And now we hear about it quite a lot. I'd be interested to know the numbers because I still don't think really it got this kind of upheaval and success that a lot of people think it did. So yes, it could come in the 70s and that'd be fine. I just would like Redfall to be better.
Yeah.
I think what else was said here? Tavish says Minecraft. I'm assuming you're talking about Minecraft Legends was under 80 and 3 million in 10 days. Yes. Get a lot of players, that's fine, I suppose. But I think at this point, what I'm really looking for the platform is games that are going to pull people into the subscription. And I don't know if Redfall is going to do that under a certain score. I don't know. It's hard to say because not a lot of people, I'm a fucking gremlin and I look at aggregate scores. Not everybody does that. But that's kind of what I want. I guess maybe it's more of a personal thing. I'm looking for like games of a certain quality now. I'm at that stage where I'm ready for Xbox to be putting out games of 80 or above.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess that's kind of it. Any thoughts, Tim?
No. Yeah, I'm kind of in agreement there. Yeah, I just feel like we need these first parties to start hitting, like minimum 80s. To turn around this negative IP that negative sort of brand association that Xbox seems to just have with it. I don't know. It's just it just seems like it's just latched on and it doesn't leave, no matter how many good games we pump out. Because as we've said, the beginning of this year has been great, but it's still, we're still looked at very critically from that standpoint. So it's a little bit weird. And yeah, I mean, obviously I'm hoping Redfall is going to be a success both for Xbox and personally, because I'm going to be hopping on that on Tuesday and I'm hoping it's going to be great and I'm going to have a really good time. So yeah, here's to Redfall. I wish it all the luck.
Me too, man. So the only things that I've heard so far, and this is like big grain of salt stuff, and I don't know if anybody in the chat has heard this, on Colt Eastwood's podcast, he was saying he didn't get code, but he's saying he's heard from someone who is playing it. Again, we don't know how true that is. So the game started really, really well, but started to get a bit boring as it went on.
Okay.
I'm assuming we have very few details of what that means. The codes only went out like not yesterday, the day before, but at the end of the day. So somebody probably hasn't finished the game. So it's a really nebulous thing to speculate about, but whatever. Maybe it picks up again and gets really good. Maybe this is all made up and doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
I'm just
So,
saying.
you said reviews drop tomorrow. Did you?
We think reviews drop tomorrow, but there hasn't been an official thing, but they've put codes out, so
Okay.
it's not. A lot of people have been saying, it's red flags and everything, but like codes are out. Like they went out a little bit late, but that's not abnormal. Like
Hmm.
Tavish says one reviewer I know loved Redfall. By the way,
Let's go. It's going to be a 90 game.
don't be doing my heart. Don't be doing my heart like that. It's gonna be a 90 game. Can you imagine? And that's the thing as well. Like I really want Arcane to fucking give everyone the middle finger. I think it's been really unfair.
Yeah, but it just won't get that high just from the fact that just from its most recent use of cutting to 60, it will never get that high.
Yeah. Timmer says, do you think we'll get numbers for Redfall? Yeah, I do. I mean, they're not going to be good, to be honest. Maybe I've misassessed that, but I don't think they're going to be good. I mean, they did for Hi-Fi Rush. They weren't that great for Hi-Fi Rush. They were fine. They're good. They're fine. They're fine. 2 million it was, as they said, didn't they? 2 million players. So I think they will. They've gotten into this habit of kind of doing that. I think probably to try and instill some confidence to shareholders around people playing games on Game Pass or whatever. But yeah, we'll see. I'm sure there's something else I wanted to talk about with this, but I can't remember what it was. I'm going to check my notes. Say something funny, Tim.
No. Have you preloaded Redfall yet?
Yes.
Yeah, I have as well. I didn't actually look at the size of the game. I didn't know how many gigs it was. Was it quite big?
80 gigs.
80. It's bulky. Very bulky.
Quite big.
Yeah. Bulky.
Oh, we got that cool, wicked dynamic background, didn't we?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
nice.
I've whacked that on. Yeah. I had the Fallout one on for the last year. So it's nice to change it. I had to look through some of the others because obviously they've added quite a few since I last checked. But I'll go for Redfall for the hype of Redfall. So.
Yeah. I like the colours in this game a lot. I will say that. I like the colour palette.
There's a lot of reds and blues.
It's that hue, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah.
Reds, blues, purples. So here's the other thing. They released a page about accessibility options. There were quite a lot of them, which is good, somewhat faith instilling. Oh, good. You had time to make some accessibility options.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice.
Totally rushed out the door.
The FOV slider is important to me. I'm glad that's there.
Yes. Hopefully it doesn't affect frame rate or anything. Hopefully it's stable enough that that's okay to do.
Mm-hmm. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe FOV was 60 didn't work.
Maybe. Maybe, dude. And okay. So these are some other things I wanted to talk about. Like, just in terms of what we've seen for the game, I kind of get the impression that there's a fair bit that we haven't really seen here, like in the game. Maybe I'm wrong. I watched an old interview a while back. They talked about it when the game first got announced, whatever. And they said that each of the 4 vampire gods acted as like chapter breaks.
Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting. Now that we know what we do know about the game, hearing some of that, older information as gives some extra context. And I was like, okay, so we're probably going to be going from one to the other, to the other, to the other, to the other. It just had me thinking about how we're moving through the game, Okay. It's an open world as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we do know, unlike the UI that they've put up on the HUD, not the HUD, just the UI. There are those vampire remnants, but then there's also vampire god remnants. That's like its own category of equipment.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm wondering, what are they? What if those are big gameplay modifying remnants? Are they character specific? Are they the same for everyone?
Are you talking about the modifiers that go into? What are you talking about right now?
I'm talking about the remnants. Remnants? They're like the little vials of blood that have effects. But there's remnants. If you when you open the menu and there's the guns on the left, on the right hand side there's remnants and then vampire god remnants.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
So it just had me thinking of like if we're moving from like if we're going from 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, and we're not choosing the order that we take down the gods. I'm just curious of like what kind of buffs we're getting from them.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, this is what I mean. I mean, you know, obviously I don't have an answer. It's just that like there's a lot of stuff we kind of don't know here, like seemingly quite big things. Like they haven't officially said, like in any of the previews, like how the game is structured. That was just said on an offhand comment on an interview.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, one thing I quite liked about recently in the trailers, or there was some kind of like video doc that was done on this. There were a few details which I quite liked when they were going through like talking about like the vampire nests and stuff like that. I quite liked that, for one, when you enter the nests, obviously they're all procedurally generated, but there's also like modifiers on them as well, which I didn't understand that was a thing, which is quite cool. I think that there's like modifiers on them, so each one will be different in that regard. Like and I also found it really cool that the longer you leave a nest, the more it kind of spreads and vampires take over that area. I didn't know that was a thing until literally 2 weeks ago. And I feel like that's
not only that,
something they
it makes them more powerful.
Yeah, and it makes them more powerful. Yeah, I feel like that's something they should have announced a long time ago. Like, I think that's a really cool gameplay element. I'm surprised they held that information until so close to the release date. Like, because I was literally thinking, I was like, oh, vampire nests seem cool, but like, what, do I just go in there when I want to? Like, do I just go in there if I want a bit of loot? Like, what's the harm here? And the fact that I know that these actually affect the world around me if I leave them, as well as just like, I also found it really cool that when you beat them, there's like a timer for you just to run around and loot as much as possible before it like explodes and you have to get out. I thought that was really cool too. Like, all this cool shit, like, why have they held this so close to their chest before release? Like, I don't know, I just feel like that's all really cool information, but you know.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah,
So
there's stuff like that. You know, there's like blood fog around the world as well, where you have to make the decision if you're going to shoot it to clear the fog and attract attention, or find a way around it. And I think those pop up dynamically. And then there's like, I can't remember. Don't quote me on this. I feel like the cultist based have like a dynamic element to them as well.
I can't remember.
As they recruit more people in, you know, and so I think the more you think about them, I think there are a lot of these systemic kind of world elements which sound really cool and really well thought out. You know, it's just God, I like hope it comes together. I hope it all comes together in a good way. That's kind of like, on paper, I think it sounds great. You know.
Yeah. I'm with you.
So here's the other thing. A while back, they spoke about this thing of like the map being split into two main districts. One was like an urban one, and one was more of a rural one. We haven't really seen much of that second one. I've seen like the occasional glimpse at somewhere where there's trees and grass, but most of the shit we've seen has been in like the urban district with lots of buildings.
Yeah, like we saw some clips of obviously like climbing up hillsides, trees. You know, he fired off the flare gun and did that boss, stuff like that. But yeah, really not much from a rural side of things. Yeah, so that'd be quite interesting, definitely. Vampire cows? Question mark.
Vampire cows.
It's a thing, dude. I work for Redfall. I designed the vampire cows. So, man, I'm going to be absolutely beaming tomorrow if the game manages to crack 80. I will be really happy. If it doesn't, it's not the end of the world. If it gets below 75, I'm going to be sad. That's a bummer. So, yeah, I'm going to say to keep myself grounded, 70 to 75 is going to be my prediction. Yeah, I'm going to go 70. Yeah, I'm going to go 76. 76. Okay. I want to say 78. If I'm going to be specific then. Yeah. Okay. If I'm going to be specific then, I'll say 73. I'm going to go 76. And whoever's right has to give the other their residence. their house.
Yo.
So
Okay.
if I'm right, I get your house.
I didn't know where that was going for a moment. Just to give the other a bologna sandwich. But back to sandwiches. We did it. We came full circle.
Full circle, dude.
Fucking
Everything
awesome.
leads back to sandwich.
Okay, what have we got in the chat here? Tavish says, did you see Harvey Smith was promoting open roles? They are hiring for Arcane. Yes, I did. Maybe for another Dishonored. Yes, maybe. That should be a slam dunk. Here's the other thing, right? Redfall should be a fucking slam dunk.
Well, Dishonored 3 being exclusive.
You'd hope so, wouldn't you? I mean, in the same way Hellblade 2 is an exclusive.
Interesting.
Would Wolfenstein 3 be an exclusive?
Third game in a franchise being an exclusive. Pretty toxic. Okay.
Just call it something else. Call it fucking Disgraced.
Yeah. Disgraced. I like it.
And you can play as me.
Dude, I'm here if you want to talk. Off air, of course.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, definitely exclusive. Outer Worlds 2, as well as exclusive, that's a sequel. So yeah, I think they would.
Yeah, they probably would, wouldn't they? Yeah.
That'd be great. That'd be easy win. But, you know, I am excited by the idea of these new IPs. So we'll have to see. Fingers crossed. I absolutely cannot stomach the idea of the bad PR that's going to come about if Redfall doesn't review well tomorrow.
Next week next week is either going to be a happy podcast or a fucking just a really bummer podcast. It's just gonna it might ruin your Sunday next week, or it might make your Sunday better. You know,
we might just grunt for an hour, like an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah, just groan and grunt. Yeah. I might just not show up. I'll just start the stream and it's just empty chairs.
Just empty chairs. And then it just ends. You just hear the occasional like sob in the background. Just like
yeah. Yeah, it could be. Could be that.
Could be. Okay, I think that's it for Redfall. Don't think I have anything else to say. Reviews tomorrow. Game's out on Tuesday onto Game Pass. Obviously, it's a global release, so we can't do any funky New Zealand holidays to get it early. But it's coming out because it's a global release. It's coming out earlier in the US, like at 5 p.m. You know, on the Monday.
Wait, what?
But so it's releasing at the same time across the world, but because obviously the time zone difference, most places don't do a global release. They will release it at midnight across the world, but obviously midnight across the world is at different times, which is why the New Zealand trick works.
Yeah, but that's not a thing, right?
So it's not a thing for Redfall. For us, it's coming out at 1 a.m. in the morning.
Okay, all right.
Which is so annoying because if it was like an hour or two earlier, I would have probably stayed up and played it for an hour.
Late,
But 1 a.m. is just a bit too late.
Yeah, I probably would have done the same and just been tired at work a little bit more. But yeah.
Okay. God damn it. I hope we survive the onslaught because obviously the problem that we have is that Xbox haven't released a AAA game in like over a year.
And this is the first AAA next-gen exclusive as well. Yep.
And so we're not going to hear the fucking end of it if it doesn't perform well, if it's not great. It's going to be Xbox's fault that Arcane is dying.
It's true. Xbox do just suck the life out of everyone.
It's evident, you know. It's evident. I'm very hungry.
Yeah,
this has been tiring work. Yeah.
I'm a little bit hungry. I did have a massive breakfast though. It was insane.
Really?
Dude. I had 3 pieces of toast, 2 eggs, 3 pieces of bacon, 2 sausages, 3 hash browns, a black pudding, and a tomato.
Fuck
It
yeah,
was
man!
So big, dude.
Did you cook that, or did you
No,
go and buy that?
No, we went out for brunch at this like nice little cafe place, just down the road. Yeah, and all that for like 13 quid as well. Like it's pretty fire, dude. Like it's a fat breakfast. Like the plate was enormous. You know, like the really obnoxiously big plates.
Big plates. Yeah.
And it was like filled. Yeah. I was literally like holding the plate like this. Yeah, it's good though.
That's good. I fucking love a brunch. I love a brunch so much.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah.
Skip breakfast and just get the good shit and a hash brown in. And the thing is, I don't think anybody truly appreciates the power of an English breakfast, you know?
Yeah.
And we've got a bad rep, haven't we? We've got a bad rep for eating bad food. Don't season our food. That's nonsense.
No. I mean, well, to be fair, English breakfast, not much. That's, yeah. Not much of it seasoned outside of like the eggs, though, right? Because everything is kind of the sausages and bacon are just they are what they are, right? And then you don't season your beans. You don't season. You only season your eggs.
I season my beans.
You just add salt to everything, don't you?
Firstly, why did you look at me when you said like that? When you said that. Secondly, no, I don't.
Not bad.
I do not salt everything because I make fucking excellent food that does not need lots of salt or any.
You don't make excellent food. I do have it fresh now. Does that mean I make excellent food?
Dude. I don't know. I haven't tried it, have I?
Well, it's pretty good, man.
All I know is I made you a risotto and you said this might be the best risotto I've ever had.
Oh my God. I regret saying that every day I live.
No.
You brought that up multiple times.
No, you don't. No, I have not brought that up multiple times.
You have. This is why I don't compliment you. It's like you fucking write it down. You're like 12:56. Tim said best risotto ever. You fucking frame it and then you fucking tell me
nice.
every day.
It makes me happy.
No.
Man,
it was a good risotto.
What a fucking disaster it would be to make your friend happy. What a fucking disaster. Wow.
You sounded like that. You sounded like someone. No, it was a good risotto, man. It was very good.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. All right. Okay, here we go. Earnings call time. Not much to say. Well, I mean, we'll see. You know, we were all talking about last week. Xbox is doomed. Xbox is going under. Xbox is coming for you. The Xbox in your living room is a bomb. Remember we said all those things? Remember those things that we said?
Yeah.
You remember? Yeah. Turns out they weren't that bad, actually. You know, it wasn't ideal, but yeah, it wasn't that bad. A big fucking surprise.
Oh.
Okay. Hardware revenue declined 30%. Not ideal. The worst stat here, comfortably. You know, really just not good, I would say. Firmly in the not good camp of things that are good or not good.
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah.
Gaming revenue declined by 4%, but content and services grew by 3%, driven by growth in Game Pass subscribers.
Okay, that's interesting.
It's almost like Xbox's success doesn't purely hinge on console sales anymore. It's almost like Xbox has gone out of its way, even, I would say, to allow you to play their games and generate a revenue stream outside of their consoles. Maybe, for example, you know, just so yes, from a cloud, you know, on your TV, on your PC, you know. Even on your old Xboxes, you know, you can.
Which makes sense. Why it's in all other areas, but the content and subscriptions, yeah.
It's just speculation.
Yeah.
What do I know? So not that bad, not good. However, that quarter, so the Jan to March is what Xbox considers to be quarter 3 on their financial year. It was the second best in Xbox's history.
Oh,
in terms of revenue.
All right. Well,
yeah, that's only second to last year.
So, yeah, still a step in the right direction. Still moving forward. Yeah. Last year.
That's all. Yep.
Last year was trash. We had a terrible 2022.
It was, but the first quarter of the year, Microsoft's quarter 3, our first quarter of the year, January to March, would have been coming off the back of 2021. The good traction of Psychonauts, Forza, Halo, Deathloop, whatever, and it's on other platforms, but the general good PR for Xbox. So that's why, I imagine.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
Good games get you revenue. I didn't know that. That's news to me. I don't know anything. So here's another interesting thing about money. I know you're really interested in this. PS5 broke records for the best quarter 1 ever in console sales. I think I'm pretty sure I read that right. They had so this January to March they fucking popped off. And we spoke about this a bit last week. Now we know that's true. However, a report suggested that people are buying less PlayStation games.
Ooh.
Why is that, I wonder?
Because they keep jacking the fucking price up.
Real chin scratcher, that one. The old fucking... Could you hear that? Was that nice?
I could hear that, yeah. I mean, people could only afford so many 70 plus pound games, dollar games. So, yeah.
Yeah. Right. And even in the other European countries where the price has gone even
higher,
up even more disproportionately, and PS Plus doesn't offer the same sort of value, so people are holding back on purchases more, waiting for sales. We'll see how that pans out for everything. But you wouldn't be surprised to know that story got next to no traction.
No. I mean,
nobody really cared that people aren't buying games on PlayStation.
People only click on links where they say that Sony's doing well and Xbox isn't. So
Xbox bad.
Yeah.
All right. Last story for the day then. Energy levels have declined substantially. So this is a really weird one, so it's a good one to finish on. Tim, are you familiar with Caillou Blue Kelly?
No. What is that? He sounds like a weird fucking children's rapper.
Sounds like a Pokemon, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a man. That's a man, Tim. Don't be disrespectful.
All right.
Is it a basketball player?
I don't know.
Oh, God.
Where is this on the notes?
It's at the bottom. It's number
this guy.
5.
Yeah.
You Blue Kelly.
The Baltimore Ravens is fucking NFL, dude.
Oh, fuck.
You bumder.
Please don't cancel me.
The basketball. He plays the basketball.
Please don't cancel me. So supposedly someone that knows him has leaked that he himself has signed a deal with Microsoft for a game. This is such a weird story.
What?
Yeah, I think maybe what I'd read is that he does some dev stuff in his spare time and pitched a game. And the premise is a SEAL Team 6 that travels back in time to stop people from trying to change historic events.
That actually sounds pretty cool, to be fair.
It does sound pretty cool, but what are you doing? You can't do NFL revival. And do this. Yeah.
Yeah, you can. And anyone who doesn't do a good job or doesn't code the way he likes, he just fucking tackles them to the ground in the office. Just smashes them.
You think?
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Yeah. It's really interesting. It's definitely a story I've never heard of before. This is very weird, but it sounds kind of
No,
cool.
This is a first. Yeah. He did also say that there was a movie tie-in about the game as well. So fuck me, like Phil must have
My
loved
man's
this.
just fucking creating a franchise while playing football. What's happening?
is that how easy it is? Like, can I just turn up at Phil's house, and just be like, look, I've got this great idea.
Yeah, time
play as a
traveling
sandwich.
oranges.
You play as a sandwich, and you have to place tiny black holes everywhere.
You play as a sandwich, and you have to make yourself into the best sandwich by collecting what you deem as the various best
meats.
Ingredients.
Yeah,
from different
vegetables,
regions of the world. But get this. You're constantly fighting a molding state where bacteria you have a bacteria bar, and with every day that passes, you get less and less fresh. That you become stale, and you have to complete your objective or you're fully stale. But there are these weird time slits that you can find that set you back, that you can jump through, that reverse your staling, so you can stay fresh longer, and you're constantly fighting against the clock. Yeah.
Please keep going.
No, I'm done.
There's got to be more in you. No. I need to know.
I can send you the rest. Give me a few days, and I'll send it to you on email. Okay. But I can't just reel this off, man.
So I need a sandwich,
a glass of whiskey, and a fireplace, and maybe I can finish this for you.
Fucking hell. A sandwich that fights off a mold state, collecting ingredients, and has to go into time slits. I don't like that you called them time slits, I've got to be honest with you. But we'll let it slide for the pitch.
Time fractures.
And you can go in there. That's a bit better, I think, yeah. You even did the hand motion as well. You're like, fucking time slits.
Yeah. Time slits, dude. Every time you use a time slit, you leave an ingredient behind. The last ingredient.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like a fucking Souls-like.
Whether or not you feel like you can complete yourself as a sandwich, or whether or not you're like, I need to get this ingredient from Egypt. I can't make it to Egypt on my current stale bar, so I need this time set, and I'm willing to lose the bacon for it,
Yeah. You've made a roguelite sandwich game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm speechless. It's rare that happens,
but
I'm
truly back on his chair, like, yeah. I like it. It makes sense. You know what I like about this one, Tim? It makes sense to me. It speaks to me. Nothing here is far-fetched.
He's just like, his mouth's full. He's like, I've been thinking the same recently. Sips out of his fucking giant, extra large fucking Coke.
Yeah.
Oh, Phil. When will you come to us for video game pitches? Clearly we're on to something. Or we're on something, one of the two. I don't know. That's the show. Thanks, everyone. You've been great.
Can we do a closing poll? Who would buy my game?
No.
Can I get yes or no in the chat if you'd buy that game?
Why do you get to do a poll and I don't? This is bullshit.
No, we're not doing a poll. I'm just going to ask them.
Oh.
Be honest with me. Don't humour me. Would you buy, if you had a choice between that game and Gollum, which one would you buy?
Oh, yours. Yeah, yours. Yeah, yours.
Is Gollum coming out this year? Or was it delayed until next year?
I think Gollum might be the first game to ever release that nobody buys. That's 0 sales.
Even the developers of it are literally like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to.
I was like, it's just not. It just doesn't do anything. All you do is eat fish and smack stones together.
And smack fish on stones.
Yeah, what were we thinking? Honestly,
What is that coming out this year? Because I know it got delayed, didn't it? Is it this year or next year?
I don't know, man. That game is in a constant state of temporal like dissonance. It's like Schrodinger's golem.
Yeah,
it's like it always exists and it always doesn't exist.
I think that game is the first ever recorded black hole of sucking in money and giving nothing back.
Absolutely nothing. Yeah.
It takes time, it takes money, and it gives nothing. It's just a leech.
God, we lost like over half of our viewership in that whole thing.
Did we actually?
Yeah.
Who was watching?
Nobody important.
Yeah, well, it was the end of the show, guys. We went through all our stories. We went on a little bit of a rant. Like, just let us cut loose.
Yeah, like it's hard. This is like an anxiety dump. It's like a trauma dump.
Yeah.
Like we're really nervous about Redfall, right?
You get your part.
Like, bear this in mind.
Get ours.
Yeah, and let's bear this in mind as well. Let's be like, humans for a moment. Like for real, people are probably like I've sent to Beth. I was saying like I'm quite nervous about Redfall. Like legitimately, I'm actually like a little bit nervous.
Okay.
And I said it out loud. I was like, I feel like fucking stupid saying it out loud. But then I was like, yeah, actually, you know what? This is like an enthusiast hobby, and we follow these projects for years. For years, yeah. Project Omen, man. Wow. It was like they got leaked when we first started the podcast, I think.
Yeah.
And for something that you've been following for years to come out disappointing is like, I think for most people that's understandably. Like, God damn it. I don't want this to happen.
No, me neither. Yeah. I mean,
I only want good things in my life.
Yeah, I think you follow this stuff a bit harder than me. But yeah, I mean, I'm still, I am nervous about it. But for me, I just want it to be a good game. I just,
yes.
Gaming's my hobby. I want to play it. I want to have a good time. So, and I do think it will achieve that. I don't think the game will not be fun. I think that will be a very dire turn for the game to take.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just whether or not it's a critical hit. But...
If this game comes out in the 60s, I'm going to sell my Xbox and my eyeballs.
You actually?
All in one. Yeah.
I keep the eyeballs, but we can do it. Our friends have always wanted to go switch to PC. You got to keep the eyes though. You need those.
No, but then it's not possible. It's not possible because like next year, the next Arcane Leon game will get announced. And then I'll be back in. They'll fucking pull me back in. The Deathloop team. So, it's what it is. Hi-Fi Rush was good though. That was a good game.
Do we know if they're doing post content for Redfall? Have they said that? Are they going to be doing DLCs and expansions and stuff? Is that a thing? Or if they said it's kind of like a one package deal, like this is the game
for Redfall?
Yeah.
They said it's going to be their most supported game, which we don't really know what that means because I think their most supported game to date is the first Dishonored, which they had three DLCs for. They said the two heroes, but we don't know anything else.
I do feel like
I imagine the rest of it depends.
I do feel like it is like a game you could quite easily do like expansions for, like just add new sections to the map and just be like, oh, a new type of vampire breed like got created and migrated over to Redfall because of what you guys were doing, and it's brought snowy weather with it. And it's like fucking, that kind of shit. I feel like it is quite an easy game to create expansions for.
Yeah. So. Yeah, possibly.
Just make new vampire gods that,
Yeah. Tavish has put in the chat, Sea of Thieves was 69 Metacritic. Now it's a huge success story.
That's true. That is never.
It is, like, man. But like these,
happen again.
But these are like compromises. I guess. I know people make the argument that, and I've certainly said it in the past. The game was designed to release in a certain way, and that was the business model that it grew with the community. Fine, but and not to mention, this definitely isn't one of those games.
No.
Redfall isn't a service game.
No, it's not. No.
Are you okay?
What? I was doing some background stuff there. What's going on?
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. What were you saying about Redfall being a service game?
Is that your knee
That's my
on
knee.
the screen?
Yeah.
Interesting.
There's a cut on it.
Whoa, look at that. It's got a cut on his knee. Look at that.
It's because I did a slide yesterday on cricket, and the ground is still quite hard. So I got
it here first, everyone. Ground is hard.
It's horrible. It's like that kind of graze that's more like a burn. You know, it's like friction burn the top layer of skin off, and it gets kind of like gooey. I don't like it.
Yeah. No, it's not nice. No, I haven't had any of them since I stopped playing cricket. You know.
Yeah. No, it's rough. But no, you do get that sort of stuff.
Maybe I should though.
Bad as sometimes when you like slide on your knees. Sometimes or fall, you get friction burns from the core.
Very, very occasionally. I very rarely fall over. I'm very graceful, actually. You know, I'm quite light on my feet.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what? People keep saying this to me. People keep saying I'm really quiet when I move around. Like, I always scare people. And I'm a big guy. Like, I'm not like...
You float around. It's kind of creepy to think.
Yeah, I mean... I don't feel like I do. I feel like I move around normal. I don't think about it. Like, I don't walk around like a cartoon fucking villain tiptoeing around the house.
I've never noticed, to be honest. Right. I will.
I've made you jump a few times.
I'll keep an eye on it next time I see you, and just really. Sometimes just see if you're just gone like the wind.
Boom.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a really weird bit of feedback that I've had multiple times that I moved too quietly. And this time, I'm sorry, I guess. Like, I have hay fever. Like, I'm always sneezing. I'm always sniffing.
Yeah. Wacky just woke up. Yeah, Wacky, we're literally wrapping up the podcast. Bye.
Yeah.
Hello and bye.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, bye, Tavish. Sorry for wasting your fucking time.
It was
just generally.
Tim is still here.
Yeah, I think we had a good time. Yeah, Tim is still here. That's great. And do you know what? You were all great in the chat today. Thanks for that. That really kept me going. That kept my spirits high through the the peril.
Wacky, you're a thin ice, mate. You make it for next week's podcast, you're banned.
You can't just keep threatening people with bans in the chat. It's not how this has worked. I mean, I guess you can. I guess I can't stop you, but I wouldn't advise.
It's not often. Actually, I have. That's the second time I have thrown a ban in one episode.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a loose cannon today. Sorry, guys.
Somebody's gonna come in and just say something like completely innocuous, like, you know,
nervous about Redfall.
I don't really like Chorizo. I fucking ban him.
You joke, but that's a bannable offense. All right, we're going off topic. Start at noon. Wacky. I could have sworn we started later because this fit your schedule more. You fucking nocturnal monster.
Yeah, we literally are doing it later for fucking Americans. Like, we're doing our best to accommodate here. You know, it's hard for us.
Yeah.
I've got a baby.
Yeah.
I've got a fucking 5-month-old baby. You know, work with me here.
And I've got something.
You can watch us afterwards anyway. It's fine.
Mod
me.
No.
I'll think about it. All right. I'll think about it.
All right. Goodbye, everyone.
We do need a mod. To be fair. Now they mentioned it. How does that work? I need to look into it.
Look into it and then contact them, whatever.
Can I like do it and then? Okay, I'm gonna look into it.
What's the use of a mod that's never here?
Yo,
man, fucking oversleeps. I'm kidding. That was a joke, Mikey.
Sick.
We love you. All right. Goodbye, everyone. Have a fantastic Sunday.
Bye, everyone.
And we'll catch you next week.
Happy Redfall week. Happy Xbox AAA exclusive week. Happy Xbox is dead week.
Positive vibes for Redfall, everyone. Positive vibes.
Positive vibes. He's already mad. He's got experience.